Hey guys, Martin here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so earlier this morning, a strangely earlier than usual time, so I think it took a lot of people by surprise, JP tweeted out about the EZA for the Broly Trio. And then we also got, the data download. We found out that we're also getting the sub EZAs for Broly and Paragus and Bardock and Guinea. I'll have probably put the Bardock and Guinea video up already by the time this one goes up, because I know a couple of people that were awake earlier than me, because this all came out at like 2 o'clock in the morning UK time. So I've seen people put the Broly Trio videos up already. Obviously, I appreciate you if you're here checking out this one from me. The Bardock and Guinea one's already up, so go check that out if you haven't seen it already. And I'll be putting the Broly and Paragus one up as well. So these guys are kind of like a meme unit that got themselves somewhat of like a meme. Like I keep calling them a meme unit, but they got themselves some kind of like a following. There are people who like push the agenda on Twitter for them being like one of the best units in the game. Despite the fact that, they are a very RNG based unit. So I think the thing for me, the reason why there was a whole podcast episode where we talked about it, because I think someone submitted a hot take for the trash take segment, basically saying that like the Broly Trio were better than, I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it one of the Worldwide Celebration LRs? I actually can't remember. And basically what I said during that segment was that this unit, obviously, if you pick up 7 orbs, they have a 100% chance to dodge. But they don't change orbs themselves. So if you get all you need is like a bad RNG turn where you can't get 7 orbs. And then against the toughest bosses in the game, because they're an older unit that didn't have an EZA, then obviously they're going to take a lot of damage from some of these attacks. And depending on how many attacks are in each slot, you may end up in a situation where they're just dead unless you use items, right? So I don't like to put units that need RNG to be runnable. I don't put them highly on my own personal tier list. If a unit is really good and then with RNG they can look like number 1, then they'll probably be high on the tier list even if they're not at number 1. But a unit that, whilst being invincible on their best turn, but then can get you killed with something as annoying as bad RNG. Like we've got bosses now like that Beerus Red Zone where he changes the orb field. You get a bad turn, especially because he's STR. Well, he also disables dodge, so to be fair, these guys are terrible for that fight specifically. But yeah, I don't know. But anyway, they have their EZA now, so we're going to check them out and see how good they are. Obviously, they're full level 10 links on the private server, no equips. Unfortunately, no dodge in the hidden potential as well, but it is what it is. Obviously, we can't read any of this stuff, so I've got the details from the wiki pulled up over here. So their leader skill post EZA is movie bosses 4 key and HP attack and defense 150, or extreme physical types 4 key attack and defense HP 100%. Their super attacks, they greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn on their 12 key, colossal damage and greatly lower attack. Their 18 key is massively raise attack and defense for 1 turn and does mega colossal. So massively is a 100% raise. They get attack and defense 30% per key sphere obtained, and an additional 10% if those are physical orbs. They get 2 key per key sphere obtained, and then they give all allies 2 key and attack 39% if you pick up an AGL or STR orb in your cluster of orbs. 2 key and 39% defense if it's a tech or an int orb. And then they give all allies a key +2, attack and defense 15% with a rainbow key sphere. So that is an extra thing that's been added, which I think is very interesting. Because obviously, if you're bringing someone on the team that can create rainbow orbs or something like that, it'll be very easy to get 2 of those things active. So if you were to pick up their 7 orbs to get 100% dodge chance, but those orbs are either tech or int, and then there's a rainbow thrown in there as well, not only are they giving allies 4 key, but then they're going to be giving them 15% attack and 54% defense, which is pretty good. So they launch an additional super attack when there is a... Oh, hang on, no, they get additional 39% attack when performing a super. Then they launch an additional super attack and give movie bosses or super bosses allies 10% damage reduction if they get 24 key. Now, considering they get 2 extra key per key sphere, that is pretty good. They have a high chance to dodge just in base, so they've added that in for the little bit of extra survivability. 50% chance to dodge. Then they still have the 100% chance to dodge if they get 7 orbs. Now, they didn't have their own orb changing pre-EZA, and they do have a little bit of extra sort of chance here. They randomly change 1 key sphere of a certain type, excluding physical, to physical if their HP is 60% or less, or your HP overall. And then they also change all key spheres to physical when HP is 39% or less, but that's once only. So obviously orb changes are going to be ideal to run with them. So their only 200% lead is the AGL Broly. And crazily enough, their best link partner is Hearts of all characters. They share 6 links with him, including Cold Judgment, Big Bad Bosses, Solid Support, Brainiacs. Like, they got some good links with him. The problem is going to be their links with like other characters, right? So like Fierce Battle and Legendary Power with Gogeta. Broly's their only 200% leader. I think they share 3 links with him. But Broly, Gogeta being on the team, because he's on Broly's 170 because of Transformation Boost, he's going to work out quite nicely because of the orb changing. So you can see here, we can get 7 orbs only if we go that way, which is physical, which gives the extra buffs to them. So it's 40% attack and defense per key sphere. But we are getting a rainbow orb as well. So all allies are going to get 2 key and 15% support. So if we go ahead and grab those, we also get our 24 key. So that means, unfortunately, no one on this rotation actually fits that. But movie bosses or super bosses get 10% damage reduction. I'm assuming that does include themselves, though, as well, right? But doesn't really matter for this turn because they're going to have 100% dodge chance. So we'll go ahead and do this. Hearts, of course, does have guard for a few turns here. Got all his links active, which is, well, almost all his links active, which is pretty good. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Now, we know that they're going to dodge all and any attacks. So that's pretty good here. And then their attack stat, 17 million. I mean, that's pretty good. They always were pre-EZA. The physical orbs give them a big buff. And then the other orbs are what gives them the ability to support the other like characters, right? So getting the additional here. Remember that they massively raised defense on their 18 key. Now they're greatly raising defense again. So, I mean, the thing is with them now, this is where my opinion of them will, of course, change because they're a lot better now post-EZA. Post-supering, their defense is going to be quite high, and they have a 50% chance to dodge. So that's definitely very good. And then on the turns where you can get the 7 orbs, they're going to have a 100% chance to dodge, which is obviously very, very powerful. The fact that they gave them their own sort of ways to change orbs is very useful, although unfortunately, as I say, it does require you to be on certain HP restrictions. So it's rare that, I think, like, especially for the 100%, like, change all the orbs, it's 39% or less HP. Now, obviously, there are some turns where, you know, you're going to get hit by a big super from one of these big red zone bosses on the turn before the Broly Trio are on rotation, and then they're going to come in on the next turn, you're going to be at 39% or less HP, and then, boom, they change the entire field of orbs, which will then not only give you a full heal, but obviously is then going to give them the 100% dodge chance as well. So then they're going to be very, very good on that turn specifically, right? Very, very useful unit, not just for that healing, but just for the all-out power that they're going to have on that turn. So, of course, Frieza had to get supered straight away. Gets that first hit and gets the buff, and then would have taken less damage afterwards. But I guess we do want to lose some HP as we go through the stage here, just so we can see some more turns for these guys and maybe get those HP restrictions, because we jumped into one of the Dismal Future Red Zone stages here. I wanted to see how well these guys would do. Now, on this turn, we got no orb changing. So you can see here, this is where it becomes a little bit more dicey for these guys, right? Because we don't have a way to change orbs for them. So we can go ahead and put Zamasu in slot 1. It's going to be awkward to get these to drop down in a way that I want them to. This should connect all the... No, because that red's going to fall not where I want it to be. Now, they're not getting hit on this turn. So, I mean, I guess this is one of those times where it doesn't really matter too much. But, yeah, see, that closed off the purples. That's not really what I wanted. So, judging by what we get from their orbs, we can either give all allies 2 key and 39% attack if we go this way. Or we can give all allies 2 key and 39% defense, which I think we should do. Although, I suppose if we go this way, we are also getting the rainbow orbs, which give the allies an extra 2 key and 15% attack and defense. So we probably will do this, actually. So, I mean, we still got 24 key as well. 300k defense. They get their 18 key super, they go up to 600k. And they would still have 50% chance to dodge. Obviously on this turn, you know, they're not taking any attacks. But now, because we got the 24 key, Fusion Zamasu in slot 1, he is a Super Boss's character, so he's getting an extra 10% damage reduction on top of the damage reduction that he already has. So he's essentially invincible on this turn, because he has what? Because this is his first turn, and he's getting the buff from them. He has like 90% damage reduction or something right now, because he has 80 at his max, right? So yeah, he takes double-digit damage from their super attack. So these guys, what's obviously, of course, if I didn't mention, because it's part of their passive now, they are on the super bosses category, because of course, right, they're on movie bosses, and they have big bad bosses because of our boy Lemo, the big bad boss. But yeah, they are on super bosses, which is why, of course, they have that super bosses support thing in their passive. It's why they're on Broly's 200% leader skill, because movie bosses is one of his plus 30%. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on his team because they're not on full power or transformation boost. So they're definitely going to be a very, very good support unit. I think the thing you have to weigh up when you're deciding whether to run them or not is going to be the simple fact of, like, if you're running them as a slot 3 floating unit, then you're potentially going to run into those situations where, especially after you've picked up orbs with the people who are first on the rotation, that they might not be able to get 7 orbs. And obviously that is potentially going to be an issue. But of course, you know, you can kind of try and play the turn in a way that you're picking up orbs. Like, for example, if we had this rotation, but they floated into slot 3, Frieza basically doesn't need any key. And then Broly gets a lot of extra key per orb as well. So it's not like you need to get a ton of key with him. And then once you've picked up the orbs with them, they're giving the allies key as well. So it's kind of like when Piccolo's getting hit at the start of the turn, things like that, where you're supporting your allies with key when you pick up their orbs. So if you're picking up, well, any type of orb, AGL, STR, Tech, or Int, it doesn't include physical because that doesn't buff allies, but AGL, STR, Tech, or Int, and a rainbow orb, you're giving all allies 4 key. So even if you're missing out on a super on one of the other units on the rotation by 4 key, it doesn't then matter because the Broly Trio are going to give them that buff so that they get the extra key, they get their super, and then obviously the Broly Trio gets their orbs. But yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to see another turn. We'll jump back into another event. I know the intro part of the video was quite long, just going over their full passive. Their passive is quite long. But yeah, we'll jump into another event here because I imagine with Gogeta going off in slot 3 here, unless we get bad RNG. I should have purposely not got a rainbow orb with him to not get yet another super, because I'm pretty sure he will kill. Hopefully he doesn't, because we crit on that last one and didn't do as much damage as I thought we might. So as long as we're not getting too many crits here, they might survive the turn. He's going to get another super here for sure. If he doesn't crit on this and we don't get another super, then we get another turn. I tried to leave as many orbs as I could as well, so we could potentially get the 7 orbs at the start of turn. Yeah, even with him getting a 4th super here, they will live. So we will get to see another turn from them. So yeah, I think these guys are now very, very good. I know all the people. I've already seen at least one tweet from one of the people who was on the Broly Trio agenda, acting like, you know, it's Christmas, that they've been vindicated, even though I still argue the unit wasn't good before they actually got the EZA. But, you know. So unfortunately, though, you will see situations like this. So we actually won't get to see them attack because obviously if I could do this, right, which will drop down the STR orbs at the top, so we could potentially get 7 orbs with them here, but then obviously Zamasu just kills them when he super attacks, so we won't actually get to see them attack here. But obviously this would show that they are still very, very strong on this team. I mean, I could do this, right? I mean, with how much extra key they get, look at this, they're starting the turn on 6 key because they only share Big Bad Bosses and Fierce Battle with Zamasu, but just by picking up these 4 orbs and a rainbow, they go up to 24 key because obviously they're getting extra key themselves and the buff for the allies as well from the rainbow one and the STR one. It's 4 key, remember, they're getting and giving everybody else by picking up these orbs. So they jump straight up to 24 key just by picking up those orbs. Now that only puts them to 200k defense, which means they only go up to 400k. So if they were not killing the enemy here and then we got attacked, we would take some damage. We might tank a normal, well, we tank a normal reasonably well. Like, we're not going to die to it. We wouldn't tank a super. But obviously, they're just going to kill here, right? Because the STR orbs give the attack buff. So with only 2 links active, including big bad bosses, they're still dropping a 10 million attack here. And then, yeah, because we got 24 key, that guarantees them an additional super. So that's something you have to factor in as well, is if you're getting 24 key, they're always going to be double supering, which means they're going to be getting a 100% attack rate, defense raise, and then a 50% defense raise, guaranteed. So once you've seen what their defense is when they pick up the orbs, their defense is then going to go up by like 1.5 after that, like 1.5 times, which is kind of crazy. So, I mean, I think I saw like what I wanted to see, but we'll jump into another turn on another run just to see if we can get like a crazy big orb turn. But they're definitely looking very, very good post EZA here. So definite redemption for them. Okay, so I jumped into the Red Zone Harudagan fight here, and we weren't able to get 7 orbs, but we were able to get 6. So that's given them 267k. I think it was green, so they're going to give all allies the defense buff. We did get a rainbow as well, I'm pretty sure. So we're giving a lot of support here, and they are going to double super because we got to 24 key. So that means we are going to jump up to, what? We're going to go up to like just over 500k with the first super. So it's going to be, what, like 650, and then they have 50% chance to dodge. So I just wanted to play out a turn where they actually are going to get hit. Well, they're going to get attacked and see what will happen. Because remember, in their base, even without getting the 7 orbs, we do have a 50% chance to dodge. So we'll see how we go here. And because we got 24 key, obviously everybody has damage reduction. I mean, they are going to make Broly, I didn't mention this in the previous clip, but they are going to make Broly go absolutely insane. Like, this is the friend one, so obviously, again, with the weird hidden potential thing, he doesn't have as high stats, so he's not going to look impressive as a normal Rainbow level 10 Link's Broly. But the reason why they're going to make Broly go so crazy is not only are they giving him a bunch of extra support when he can already drop, like, turns with ridiculous attack stats, but if they're getting 24 key, which it seems like they can fairly consistently do, they're also giving Broly 10% damage reduction. So you think about, like, after he's gotten his supers off, not only does he have guard and have fairly high, like, raw defense stat anyway, he's then also getting 10% damage reduction. So, like, these guys are actually really, really good. Like, it's super funny. I wonder, like, it'll be interesting to see the reception for people, for especially the agenda pushers, because, like, I have completely switched up on this unit, but it's because their EZA is good, not because I think they actually were always good all along. I still stick by all of my criticisms of them pre-EZA, but post-EZA, okay, yeah, they're cooking. They're actually going to be really good. And on this super bosses team, because remember, Broly not having big bad bosses can be a bit of an issue, especially because he kind of wants to be a slot 2 unit, but especially with the crazy tech of, like, running him as a what's the word I'm looking for? Running him as like the double rotation, right, of him with himself. He has the potential to be that rotation with double Broly. Could you imagine that rotation, double Broly? Like, I retweeted a thing. Check out my Twitter if you haven't already, at the Master Ningen. I retweeted a thing that someone sent me of Broly, the 2 Brolys together, right? One transform, one not. The one transform was Rainbow full level 10 links with Golden Frieza in slot 3, the int one for the support. And for the first attack, he's hitting like 35 or 36 million or something. Now, they don't give as much support as the Broly Trio, as Frieza. Because if you're getting the Rainbow Orb and the AGL or STR Orb, then it adds up to, what, 54% attack? And I think Frieza gives 60, but it's close enough. And then they're also giving him 10% damage reduction. Frieza is obviously very good defensively, but that sort of wears off as the fight goes on, whereas these guys have a potential to be invincible on the turn, as long as the boss doesn't negate dodge. So on that Broly team now, having these guys as an option for a floating support unit, they are going to be incredibly powerful. But unfortunately, we will see a lot of turns like this where we don't have an orb changer, where obviously, yet again, we're not able to get 7 orbs. Now, if I do... Is there any way I can get these to drop that will connect the ones above? I don't think there is there? Because this is only going to move down that purple, so it's not going to help to connect the oranges. This will drop down just the green one in its place. So again, that's not really going to help. Because Broly's obviously going to kill. I just wanted to see what kind of support we could maybe get. But yeah, so if we get like 5 physical orbs, that already just puts them to 24 key. And because that gives them more of a buff to themselves, that's 200k defense without big bad bosses active, which is pretty good. So yeah, Broly's obviously going to get the kill here. We won't get to see as good a turn of them, but we floated off Gogeta on the previous turn. So of course, the next rotation that we get, the Broly Trio, we're going to have Gogeta in slot 3 in order to create orbs. The goal for that rotation, because obviously Broly and Gogeta do share a good few links together, will be to put these guys in slot 1, get the 100% chance to dodge, and then obviously have Broly in slot 2 go crazy, and then yeah, just sort of go from there, right? So we'll do this. I want to try and leave, let's see, I want to get attack buff because I do kind of want Broly to go crazy. So if I do this, leave all the STR orbs here, leave the rainbow as well. Gogeta's going to create rainbow orbs. I'm not sure how this field is going to turn out now, actually. But if I do this, that will put the other STR orb, well, not next to it. I thought it was going to come down to the right. Well, there you go. So Frieza getting the dodge. Remember what I said before about Frieza? I'm sticking to it. Frieza, best build, full dodge. He procs his passive, which gives him guaranteed crit, as well as the attack and defense buff, even if he dodges. He's not on the team to do damage. You wanted to give him dodge and additionals, because you want any opportunity for him to be the tank where he's just going to take as little damage as possible. And then if his passive is procced and he's getting guaranteed crits, he doesn't need any crit in the hidden potential anyway. So yeah, never give him crit, additional and dodge all the way. If you want to give him more additional than dodge, you know, I probably won't argue, but you definitely don't need to give him any crit. But yeah, he's definitely a very, very good unit. This team definitely shaping up now. When we all saw the super bosses category, it was like, oh, this team's kind of... But now with Frieza, with the new Frieza on the team, these guys EZA, oh, that's only 6, isn't it? That's only 5. Oh, man. See, this is what is really annoying, again, about this unit. Like, they have all this potential to be good, but here we are, not able to get the orbs again. So if I do this, can we get some greens, blues, or anything going to change this up here? No, that's still 2 different ways we can get 6 orbs. Now, I guess if we play out the turn like this and use them in the way that I guess they're potentially intended, which is to be a floating support, if we do... What's the best way to do this here? Probably, is it going to be this? We're going to need... We need to get a rainbow or a physical or multiple physical orbs to come in at the top for this to work. But... let's see. I mean, remember as well, I should be clear, their support is for all allies. It's the damage reduction is only to movie bosses or super bosses, but everything else is to all allies. So obviously on this rotation, we could, in fact, if I make sure the animations are off, we could, in fact, transform Gogeta, and then he's going to be going ham here with this extra buff. Ooh, okay, there you go. Now we can do, okay. Let's put our boys here then. Now we get our 7 orbs. All right, there we go. So we get a guaranteed dodge against the Rudigan. We're at 230k. They definitely got a lot lower stats right without big bad bosses, which is obvious, all things considered. I think the only big issue for them is gonna be the orbs, right? We need a really good orb changer that has big bad bosses, and then that would be super good. There might be one I'm overlooking. Obviously, let me know down below in the comments who you would run with them. Obviously, the old school combo was to run Chi-Lai because she has a scouter. She has really high dodge. But she, of course, is not on this team. So yeah, let me know who you guys would run with the Broly Trio. Their EZA, very, very good. They're able to juice up the allies here, make them way stronger. Supporting all allies is a very powerful ability. They're going to be viable. I mean, I wanted to do the showcase on a 200% team, but they're obviously going to be viable on a non-200% lead, especially if you are then bringing units that are going to create the orbs they need, because then it doesn't matter what leader skill they're getting, because they can't take damage if they're always getting 7 orbs, right? So it doesn't matter if their defense is going to be lower than it would be on a 200% team, because they can't take damage. And then on turns like this, where you get the hidden potential additional, that's another 50% defense raise. So if we weren't able to get the 100% dodge chance, they still have a 50%, and then their raw defense is going to be very high. So I do think they are very, very good. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Obviously, Gogeta here getting the support, but he's got like 2 links, Fierce Power and Legendary Power, so he's not going to look as crazy. But these guys definitely looking very good. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.